Hi, this is Jack Stanley, and I wanted to talk about acoustic recording. Now, you can sit there and say, acoustic recording, what is something to talk about? We have all different types of recording. We have electronic recording, we have electrical recording, we have digital recording, we have every form of recording you can think of, yes, indeed. But the thing about acoustic recording is something most unique. And I wanted to talk about that's part of it and its unique nature. Acoustic recording is recording in its purest form. You could look at, like a 45 or 33 or 78 for that matter, post 1925, and they're recorded electrically. The use of the microphone, an electrical signal, is used to cut wax or record onto tape. And that's unique. It's basically quite close to the individual who's recording. But with acoustic recording, there's much more. Because the very nature of the record, the very nature of the actions of the needle, the very nature of the actions of the wax and the swarf and everything else is a direct result of the power of the living being. And what I mean by that is that the life force itself is what makes that record. It's as close as you can get to the living being. It's an important thing. And we fail to recognize that at times. And maybe a lot of people will sit there and say, well, who cares? It's not that big a deal. Well, I think it is. I do believe it is, because I think there's something magnificent and very unique about acoustic recording. That on those grooves, on those early recordings of Caruso or Tetrazzini or whomever, you are much closer to them than you would be in an electrical recording or a digital recording. Because those grooves are made by the power of their being. Years ago, I used to record a lot of people on cylinder, and I was fortunate to record like 50 different people. We'll talk about some of them sometime, but I wanted to talk about two of them at the moment because it's kind of an interesting thing, dealing with acoustic recording. I recorded the voice of the violinist Isaac Stern. I recorded him in the year 2000 and went to his home in Gaylord, Connecticut. And we made a series of recordings and talked about recording. And I mentioned to him that he has recorded on every form of record, every type of recording. Wire, tape, disc, cylinder. At least cylinder at this point. And I said, you have recorded on every known method of recording. He said, that's pretty cool, isn't it? And so we were making the recordings on wax, and there was the swarf flying up. And he said, what the hell is that? And I said, it's swarf. And he said, swarf? He said, it sounds like something from Star Wars or something. He said, may the swarf be with you. I said, well, may the swarf be with you too. And he was going, hail swarf. It was kind of fun. We had a lot of fun, but he understood the fact that that swarf was a direct result of his voice cutting into the wax. And I know it's hard to truly explain this, or in many respects people say, is it even relevant? I don't know, but I think it is. I think it's kind of a fascinating thing. I looked here, I found he wrote me a note after making the recording, and he wrote at the bottom of the little note, hail swarf. I thought that was pretty good. Another individual who did get it and understood the power of the being making the record was Peter Jennings. When I met with him at ABC, we made a series of recordings, and over 2 days, actually. And after making these recordings, he wanted to make a series of recordings for his kids. And I said, okay, we'll set that all up. And we did. It was much more informal, no cameras, no nothing. It was just him and me and the phonograph, and we made our records. And we were talking about Swarf, and we're talking about the power of his being cutting that wax. It was purely his being. And so what he was doing every time we made the record, he would take a little duster thing and collect all of the swarf and put it in little envelopes. And he would give the record and one of those envelopes that he had made the record with the swarf from that record, saying, this is part of my voice. He got it. He understood it. I'm happy about that, because he would pass away a few years later. But think about this. The next time you pick up a 78 or a cylinder and you listen to it and you look at it, those grooves were made through the result of that living being and by no other way. That's why it's so different from electrical recording. It's not the same. This is the sheer energy of the individual. So that's about all I wanted to say. I've got the flu, I've got a cold, and I've got allergies all at the same time. And the end result is I can't sleep. So my mind is going 1,000 miles an hour, and I'm sitting here and reading and thinking. And I thought I would share some thoughts with you. So I hope you don't mind my rambling at 3 o'clock in the morning. And hope you do have a good day. Thank you.